Hello everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Brenda Campbell. I'm an artist and a certified Zentangle teacher. Today we are doing a Zentangle inspired art class or lesson or video, however you want to look at this. And we are going to do something very different from what you see me do most of the time, but hopefully you'll find it to be as enjoyable as I do. We are going to use a black tile today, and we're going to use one of Zentangle's Phi tiles, and it has the dimensions of the Fibonacci spiral, and that is what we're going to use. It measures 3 by 5. So if you're going to draw on black paper, which you certainly can do, just go ahead and cut out a piece that's 3 by 5, or draw on it a square, rectangle, that is 3 by 5, and you'll be right ready to go. So I'm also going to put a pencil up here because we are going to use a pencil, just a graphite pencil, and I'm going to use some Sakura jelly roll pens. I have some Moonlight pens, and I don't know if I have any regular ones. They're all Moonlight. Yep, they are all Moonlight. So these are the Moonlight series pens, that jelly roll pens from Sakura, and they are a finer point jelly roll as opposed to the typical is an 08 roller ball, and that's the size, and these are very small. They're 06. So I have 2 colors of green, I have 2 colors of pink, and I have this yellowy, greeny, chartreusey kind of color that I am going to maybe not use. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what how the spirit moves me as I draw today. But that's what I'm going to use. If you only have 1 green and 1 pink, or if you even have 2 colors that are different from each other, if that's all you have, then you'll be fine. And if you don't have the 06, the Moonlight jelly rolls, just use the regular ones. Either way, either will work. So I think we're ready to start. I am going to go ahead and start with a couple of deep breaths. I'm not going to get crazy, but let's go ahead and sit up straight and take a deep breath in, filling up with air, and exhale out and relaxing down. Okay, one more big breath in and out. And one final breath in and exhale out. Okay, that's all we're going to do today. We're doing a Zentangle inspired art. We still follow, or I should say, I still try to follow the Zentangle method, but this is a little more fun project. So we're going to begin with step 2. We just did our breathing. We're going to go on to step 2 by putting a dot in each of our 4 corners. Now I know it's not easy to see. Step 3 is the border. I'm connecting these dots with lines to create my border. And even though it's graphite on black, you still see the lead line. So I think we're good with that. Now I'm not going to do any more than that. We're just going to have the border. I'm not going to do a string, but I am going to pick up one of the darker of my 2 greens. So I've got these 2 greens, and I'm going to use the darker one to begin. And I always like to check to make sure that the ink is flowing, and it looks pretty good. So I'm going to begin in the center at the top, and I'm going to draw a small curvy shape, and then I'm going to bring it down and kind of square around the bottom. I know it's kind of a funky shape, but that's what we got. And now I'm going to put my green pen away, and I'm going to pick up the darker, actually the duller. No, I'll do this one. It's hard to say which one is darker. One's more purpley and one's a little, I don't know, maybe it's more orangey, but I'm going to start with the darker in my mind. It's the one that's more purpley. And I am going to draw, what we're doing is we're making flowers. And I'm going to start away from my line here. I'm going to leave a space. And then I'm going to round the corner down, turning my tile. And then I'm going to come back up and, oops, I went too far, but it's no big deal. And connected to the beginning, and I have my first petal of my flower. So now I'm going to, away again from my center shape, I'm going to aura down this line, and then I'm going to create my second petal, coming back up and then connecting. And I'm going to do the same thing again. And again. And my final petal fits here. Okay, so there's my first flower. And I'm going to flip it upside down. And now I'm going to use my pink, my purpley pink. And I'm going to do the same thing I did before when I started. And now I'm going to put my pink away. And I'm going to pick up my green that I used up here. And I'm going to draw another flower. I'm trying to be careful that I'm not smearing this ink because it does take a little minute to dry, but I think we're good now. Okay, so same thing we did before. Aura. Aura again. And again. And our final petal. Okay, so we've got two flowers facing opposite each other, which is fine. Now I'm going to come up with my green still, and I am going to create a leaf. Then I'm going to come over here and do it again. Okay, so I've got two little leaves there. And I think I'm going to go ahead and draw a center line on each of these leaves. Okay, now this project is really all about the aura. And we are going to start with these leaves in the center. And now I'm picking up the lighter of my two greens. And remember, if you don't have two greens, don't worry, just do it all in the same. And now I am going to draw some diagonal lines inside. Let's just pretend they're like veins on our leaf. And it's just aura after aura after aura. Okay, and now we'll come down the other side, going the opposite. Now, I don't always take this line all the way to the edge because there's two different colors. If you have the same color, it doesn't matter. And I don't want to necessarily cover up the first green I drew, so. But don't worry about it. There are no mistakes. Just remember, keep your pace slow. And if you need to, breathe. Okay, so there we have our first two leaves. And I am gonna go back to this little chartreusey yellowy greeny color. And I am gonna put dots in every other stripe, I guess I'll call them. Okay, we'll do the same thing over here. We're just decorating. It's not a big deal. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. But because this project is really all about the aura, it's a little bit of something to break it up. Break up all those lines. So I'm just adding dots. Okay, I'm done with that. Now I'm going to pick up my purpley pink again, the same color I used up here. And I'm going to draw a line down the center of my petals. Okay, and I'm going to pick up my green, do the same thing with this flower up here. So now I've got that done. I'm going to pick up my other reddish pinky color, and we're going to begin with our pink flower, pinky purpley flower. And what I'm going to start with is another straight line aura-ing that center line that we drew. And I'm going to keep aura-ing that till I fill this one side of the petal. Then I'm going to do the same thing in each petal. Aura after aura. Take your time. Let's do this. Didn't want to risk smearing any wet ink over there, so that's why we're doing it this direction now. Okay, so I've got half of each of my petals filled in with aura lines. And now I guess I'm going to use my same pen. I'm going to put some Printemps in the opposite section, so. And I just want to have them fill the space in each petal. Drawing behind when I come to a line. Okay, so there's the petals of my first flower, and I'm gonna put my pink away and pick up my lighter of the two greens. And I'm coming down here to this flower, and I shall do the same thing here. Aura after aura. And just pay attention to the line you're drawing. You really don't need to plan anything. Just stay in this moment as you draw each line. Okay, so now I have my straight aura lines, and I'll put my printom on the other half. Always being aware of where the wet ink is so I can stay clear of it. Okay, so I have both of my flower petals filled in. And now I'm going to pick back up my little chartreusey green pen, and we are going to draw tipple inside the top of our flower. And I am not really drawing any of these behind. I'm just kind of making them fit together. Make a half one there. And I'm going to flip it around and do this one now. Okay. Now, what else do I want to do? I know what I'll do. I'm going to take my dark green and I'm going to put a dot in the center of each of my tipple. And then I'll come down here and use my pinky purple to draw a dot in each of these tipple. And now I want to get my lighter pen, my lighter pink. And I am just gonna kind of fill in the center spaces here with some standalone print top. Okay, I think that's good. I'm not going to do any shading at all on this because I kind of like it the way it is. I will, however, get my dark green pen out. Oh, you know what? I changed my mind. I want to use that chartreusey color. And I'm going to put my chop on the front. There's my chop. I'm going to flip it over, but I want to wait a minute for the ink to dry. Then I'm going to sign it. And I will date it off camera. And this is the tile that we used to draw auras and printom and some tipple. And it was kind of a fun color on black. So I hope you enjoyed this project. It was kind of simple, but I still think it looks kind of cool. So have fun with it. If you do draw along, I hope you will post it somewhere so I can take a peek at it as well. And as always, I will remind you, till next time, to be you and be happy.